So today we'll be taking a look at the latest with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, Paige's reaction to the speculation about her return, WWE and AEW's possible collaboration, and much more. Let's start things off with Paul Heyman's situation with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Despite the fact that Paul Heyman is technically standing beside Brock Lesnar now, it's still kind of hard to read Paul Heyman and have a real solid feeling on where his loyalty stands. His promo on Raw after day one was the vintage Paul Heyman that we always saw when he was with Brock Lesnar. But fast forward a few days after that, and we saw a much different Paul Heyman when he was in the presence of Roman Reigns. Heyman talked about how Roman was all he had in his life while Brock was gone, how he worshipped the ground he walked on, how he loved him. Yet, he still got assaulted by Roman. Brock interrupts Heyman and tells him to shut up, and the crowd cheers. Roman tells the crowd not to cheer and tells Brock Lesnar not to talk to Paul Heyman that way. And when Brock Lesnar gets in Roman's face about it, Paul Heyman tells Brock not to talk to Roman in that way. Then, right when Brock and Heyman start to argue, Roman punches Brock Lesnar out, thanks to that distraction. So it was a nice little telling moment there that obviously, despite how things ended in their partnership, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman both still share feelings for one another. Roman doesn't want to see Brock verbally abuse Paul Heyman, and Heyman doesn't want to see that either for Roman. So just a very little interesting small detail there that was added to that segment. Of course, it has fans a little suspicious and wondering if Roman and Heyman could be in on it together to mess with Brock Lesnar and form a much bigger game plan together. As crazy and bizarre as that sounds, was this all a part of a big plan between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman? Fake the breakup, send Heyman back to Brock Lesnar to gather info, and to set everything in place. Hypothetically speaking, if Roman and Heyman were in on a big plan together, what could their endgame be? How about capturing both world titles? What if Roman wanted Brock Lesnar to win the WWE title, get comfortable with Heyman, have the title versus title match at WrestleMania, and Heyman finishes the big scheme there by screwing Brock Lesnar over during the main event of WrestleMania and helping Roman secure both world titles? If Roman and Heyman actually have that big entire scheme going to capture both world titles, you gotta give them credit because that would be a huge twist and quite the elaborate plan. So that's just an idea, but the way Heyman and Roman both told Brock Lesnar not to talk to the other like that was a bit weird and makes you wonder what was that all about. And before that even happened, you did have Brock Lesnar officially challenging Roman Reigns to a title versus title match. Roman turns the idea down because it wasn't his idea and that SmackDown was his show. So even though Roman initially turned it down there, expect the match to still take place in some fashion. Knowing WWE, there's a reason why they had Brock Lesnar make that challenge official so early on, and that's because it's actually happening down the line. Now, before we can get to that title versus title match, both Roman and Brock would have to survive their respective opponents at Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar has to get through Bobby Lashley, and Roman Reigns has to deal with Seth Rollins. If both men walk out as champion after Royal Rumble, we should get more and more teasers for the title versus title match. So Roman versus Brock for both titles will most likely be the main event of WrestleMania. But remember that you also have the Royal Rumble winner who technically earns the right for a world title match at WrestleMania. So, if Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns already have plans for the main event of WrestleMania, that means that the Royal Rumble winner would have to be thrown into that match somehow, and possibly make it a triple threat. So, no matter what they decide to do after the fact that they already are teasing the match, it looks like we will have a dual WWE World Champion come WrestleMania. So like we were discussing after SmackDown, WWE fans started speculating on how WWE must have some big Royal Rumble surprise up their sleeves, considering the way that they gave up those other 7 surprise entrants for the Royal Rumble match. One of those big actual surprises fans were discussing was Paige, who was trending throughout the entire weekend due to how many fans were speculating about her return, how she's been in the gym lately, and all that talk. The conversation eventually made it back to Paige herself, who addressed the fan speculation on Twitter and had this to say, quote, "Wait, I was trending again? I mean, it is January. I tell you what though, it does feel awesome to see so many people, even after 4 years, miss me wrestling." End quote. Paige received 20,000 likes on that tweet, and WWE superstars like Alexa Bliss could even be found in the comments of that tweet talking about how much she misses Paige. Everyone knows how serious Paige's injury was during that dreadful night at the Alive event a few years ago. Her doctor even said multiple times that it's still a miracle that she could even walk, because she could have been paralyzed in the ring that night. So thinking back to that fact and talking about a return for Paige could be scary. But we've seen miracle returns of Bryan Danielson, Edge, and now Nikki Bella, who's the latest to the list of miracle returns. Nikki hasn't wrestled at all in over 3 years after she was dealing with a career-ending neck injury herself, and now she's cleared to compete. So of course everyone's body and injury is different, but seeing all these wrestlers come back from career-ending neck injuries is what's fueling all the hype and conversation for Paige's return. So all we can do now is wait and see if Paige can ever make a safe return to the ring. As fans have labeled it, WWE has officially opened the forbidden door with at least Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling has been a longtime rival organization for WWE, dating back to the early 2000s, and WWE never acknowledged their existence at all. That all ended this week, when they announced that Impact Knockout Champion Mickie James would be competing at the Royal Rumble. WWE's statement and tweet clearly addressed Mickie James as the Impact Wrestling Knockout Champion, acknowledging their existence and acknowledging one of their world titles. So quite the big deal there. This entire situation, of course, opening up the conversation about WWE possibly working with other wrestling organizations as well. One of the new reports even claims that there's currently talks between WWE and AEW to collaborate on some content for wrestlers that have left WWE and are currently signed to AEW. A WWE and AEW collaborations of any sorts would be really great to see. But what fans really want to see is a full-blown crossover collaboration. Sort of like what AEW and Impact Wrestling did for a while there, where Impact stars were showing up on AEW and AEW stars were showing up on Impact. Imagine how insane it would be to see an AEW World Champion on WWE television and see a WWE Champion on Dynamite. That's something that can really spark some fan interest and freshen things up. So who knows what the future holds, but hopefully these conversations keep going as well, so we can eventually see a massive crossover like that. But what are your thoughts on today's wrestling news? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.